Hello, it's Eve. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you all of my Daniel Smith watercolours. So I've got quite a selection in a palette, multiple palettes actually. So some of them will be from my pans, some of them will be straight from the tube. I'm going to use just a small little travel, I think this is an Skoda travel brush number 4, just to swatch them out so you can see what I've got. So the one thing to note is I've actually put my Opera Pink back on the palette because it doesn't have a pan attached to it. I don't like the colour, so I ended up removing it from my palette. So we're going to start with Buff Titanium. I don't actually have this one out of the palette, so we'll just double dot on. You'll see that I've also drawn in some black lines so we can like have a look at the opacity. And I've got a new little water vessel because my cat is a sucker for water in a pot, and I really don't want her to like be drinking at these pots of water if they've got any paint left in, because sometimes I just can't be bothered to tidy up at the end of a session. So with these I've got a lovely little lid. It's basically a sugar bowl, I think. I can cover it over, which I thought was genius. And those, I've got a couple, and you'll see those in June's art haul because obviously we're at the start of June and I have ordered things. This is a really lovely colour. I got the Buff Titanium because somebody recommended it instead of white, because supposedly you're not supposed to use white in watercolour. I did spray these, but that's not really working. So this is lemon yellow, lovely cool yellow. Now the lemon yellow and the Hansa yellow deep are the first yellows that I ever bought. Totally, like I bought, oh look, I've gone over the Daniel Smith ones. I actually found a really old video. It's not that old, I think it's from 2021 February on my other channel, and which never really got any views because can you see how like translucent that is? It never really got any views because people over there aren't interested in watercolor, but it was a vlog. Now the next one is Naples Yellow, and I'm just grabbing it from my palette because I do have it. I thought I'd sprayed, but obviously I haven't. And this is a really light transparency. Well, I say that, but it is looking a bit more opaque. I find this one quite boring, but it's nice in mixes. Like, I wouldn't use it on its own. Try and get some actual pigment. And then Aussie Red Gold is, again, in my palette. You can see by the level of how much they've been squished out. Oh, you know, I'm not actually going to take them out of the palette because it's a bit of a faff. So I'm just going to bring the palette over. So it's this one here, Aussie Red Gold. You can see I've used it quite a bit. Normally I go from side to side, like skip one, don't I? Haven't done that this time, I'm afraid. Oh, look at that. I love this colour. It's one of my favourites. I need to remember to speak louder because somebody said that the volume was quite low on one of my videos recently. Queen Coral. This is a completely new one. I saw it on Jackson's, of course, when I was doing an order. I was like, that looks so pretty on the screen. And then I was like, it's probably quite similar to one of the other many reds that I've already got with Daniel Smith's. And oh, but look at that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so as I was saying, I normally skip. I go every other one, don't I? But time is of the essence today. We've had lots of building works locally, and it's really annoying because it's like it always happens right when my partner is a professor in English literature. This is Pyro Red, and I don't have this anywhere either because it's new. He has a really heavy teaching load in the second semester term 2, so like April, May, June. But the exam week is, oh look at that, isn't that beautiful? You see it granulating as well, separating. It's really pretty. I can't multitask. I'm like little chatty McChathead, and then I'm losing my thread. He has exam week, that's right, okay. And so basically there's about 2 weeks when he's completely out of the house, and it was my intent to get as many videos done as possible. And what happened? Take a guess. I'll give you like 5 seconds while I undo permanent deep red I've already got over here. But while I'm bringing it over, I'll give you time to think. Guess what happened? This is the permanent deep red. You'll never guess, so I shall tell you. All of the neighbours, because the sun came out, all the neighbours decided to do their building works. So we live by a canal in the Netherlands. Across the way, we don't live in a canal boat, but across the way are canal boats. And of course, I think maybe like 3 of them are doing some kind of building works. because the sun's out. House 2 doors down is doing building works. House 4 doors down is doing building works. So it's just a lot of noise to try and edit out, which is why I'm rushing this one. This is alizarin crimson. Pretty sure that, no, that's not, that's my Pearly Maroon. This one is my alizarin. Oh, we got a little bit of what do we call that when they mix together? Blending. Look at that, isn't that so pretty? I love alizarin crimson. I think I've already told you that from the Winsor & Newton video. And then Opera Pink, that's the one that's outside of the pan here, because I decided I didn't like it. I actually put the remnants here, but I had this big one, I think maybe Emma Lefebvre or someone was using it in the video. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. But I don't really do florals because I'm not a florals kind of girl. And look at that, isn't, oh my goodness, it's awful. So it never gets used. I removed it from the palette, stashed it in the cupboard and just grabbed it out now for you guys. Quin Pink, I don't think I've used that one yet because it's new. Yeah, so that's basically the story of video content creation. Fortunately, I say that, you guys are lucky if you're watching this, because my other channel hasn't had a video in 4 weeks, because that's like really in-depth tutorials of like pattern making and stuff and sewing, and the thought of trying to edit the amount of video content that gets created for those videos to get rid of the building works and everything. So that's Quin Pink, beautiful color. Quin Magenta I've actually got in here. That's this one here, little blob there, look. Oh, I love that colour too. See, Quinacridone Pink is so much nicer than Opera Pink. Yeah. And isn't Opera Pink what they call a fugitive paint? So is that where, I'm not sure I fully get the fugitive paint. Is that the one that like, kind of like is pretend? Hence the word fugitive. And like it's not light fast, and if you put it on something, it will completely disappear or something. I'm not entirely sure. I think I need a bit more magenta on that. What was it saying? Come on, Evie. Think, think, think. Okay, Rose of Ultramarine is completely new. Oh yeah, videos for the other channel. That's it. So people over there, what happened to the stories? And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but it will take me so long to edit those. It's also, I was saying to a friend, oh look, what am I going to do with that big blob sticking out? Should we put it over here? Let's work it there. I'm not sure you can even see that, it's on screen. That's the one that separates into 2 different colours. It's a granulating one, I believe. You can see it's granulating here. It's really pretty. Yeah, so poor people on my other channel are like, ugh. But those are more like search people. Like this, they're searching for something. They're like, oh, I need to know how to do this. And they land on my channel. Whereas here, it's like people are like, whoa, swatching, art supplies, nice and relaxing. And I'm like, yay, that's my kind of thing too. This is Moonglow, which I picked up because somebody said it was good for shadows. Like if you're doing landscapey things. I think I've mentioned, but I did a urban-y thingy of Ian Fennelly's. He didn't use this, but I was like, well, urban-y stuff has lots of shadows, so we'll try it. That's the whole reason why I got the grey titanium, which we'll see on the next page as well. Oh, that's so pretty. Kind of like a granulaty shading colour. Indanthrone Blue. Indanthrone Blue. I always struggle to say that. Can you see that? Indanthrone. Bloop. I've got so many blues. The thing is, what happened was, oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Crikey. Absolutely lovely. Luscious, luscious, luscious. I probably put too much on the page, but oh, imagine a piece with the Indanthrone Blue and the Aussie Red Gold. Those 2 beautiful contrasting colours. Definitely my favourite colours, blue and orange. What was I saying? Sodalite Genuine. I haven't used that one yet, so we'll take it from the tube. Can't remember what I was saying, folks. I actually bought a new book, but I shouldn't tell you about it because it'll be in my June haul as well, won't it? But it was, I bought 2 books actually I bought 3 because one is due today from the bookstore. I mean, they're all to do with arty stuff so that I can enjoy art. I'm trying to get my partner to actually do more art. Like he bought, well, there's a long story to this. So when we were first meeting, courting as they used to say back in the day, this is Phthalo Blue. I don't remember if it's red or green shade because I bought it years ago. Oh, isn't that pretty? Look at that. Oh my goodness. He always made out that he was fond of art, painting, drawing, that kind of thing. I say made out, like I'm not saying that he was lying or anything, but what I'm saying is he felt it was a common interest that we both shared, which is great. And he said he wanted to do more of it, but he hadn't got any supplies. So for Valentine's Day that year, like a year and a bit into our relationship, I bought him like a nice sketchbook and some nice pencils and things. This is Prussian blue. I gave him a palette because when I did my fashion degree, had bought a very large, this is one of my favorite colors, a very large Winsor & Newton palette. You know, the ones that are plastic palettes and it's already got the large pans like this in, with about, I don't know, 24 or 36 colors or something. And someone had gifted me a second one, so I ended up with two, so I gave one to him. Lunar Blue I haven't used yet, so we'll take it from the tube. To this day, they've never been used. Now this was back in 2013 or 2014. So they're just sitting in the drawer. They've moved from the UK to Wales, well, from England in London to Wales to the Netherlands, and I'm sure they'll end up moving somewhere else with us eventually, and they won't have been used then either. But a few months ago, oh, isn't that pretty? See how that's granulating as well? Look, I have it coming out again. Let's put that somewhere. Oh, it's so pretty. And then this one is cerulean blue. Anyhow, a few months ago, he was like getting very envious of me and my chilling. Oh, look at that, so pretty. My chilling ways with paint, and I think I've mentioned he teases me, he's like, hey, you need to stop swatching and do paintings. He doesn't talk like that, that's just me making out he does. We'll let those dry for a minute while I waffle. And so I was like, well, you need a creative hobby, because he also writes poetry as well as teaching English literature and creative writing on the MA and stuff. And I was like, you don't get any time to do poetry. I think you need to do something that's visually creative. And he's like, yeah, I think you're right. I think I need to go to the art store and buy an easel, and then I can do paintings. I want to do oil paintings like Rothko did. I was like, okay, well, let's go to the art store. And he bought an easel and he bought 3 canvases, and he brought them home and is still not used them. He put them up so they look nice in the window. An easel with a blank canvas, and that's it. Right, I'm going to try these and come back to you. Electric blue. I have that over here on my palette. This nice shiny iridescent one. I saw a YouTube video about 1.5 years ago where these iridescent colors were used, and by themselves they're a bit, well, some people wouldn't say boring because they're shiny, right? They're sparkly, but I like to drop them in when I'm doing so like if I'm doing a blue area, I might drop a little bit in just to add a bit of sparkle, not to the whole section of blue, just like little dabs. My favorite is actually the Aztec Gold, which we'll get to. Next is Phthalo Green, and that again is here, and I don't remember what shade it was. I could probably go into my Jackson's account to look it up, but because it would have been one of the very first orders from them. It's really pretty. I think I like more like earthy greens. This is Hooker's Green, which I bought, again, one of my first purchases of watercolors. And I bought it because Emma Lefebvre used to talk about Hooker's Green all the time, and I used to watch her videos. It was very relaxing to watch them. But as I've already said, I'm not really a botanicals kind of person. But I think she mixed Hooker's Green with maybe alizarin crimson to get really nice dark greens. So I should try that. This is Serpentine Genuine. It's a Primatech color. I think that means that they're more granulating. You can see I haven't, well, I don't think I've used this one. It's quite sticky. I know I haven't added it to a main palette of mine, but I do have a tiny little travel palette, so I wonder if I put it in there. I don't think I ever wrote down the colors, but I know that there's a little green in it. I know that the transparent red oxide is in it, so actually this one probably is as well, because I bought this one at the same time. Do you want to see my tiny little palette? Look. So silly. It's actually a lot smaller than I thought it would be, but it's nice for like taking out with you in my tiny little kit. This is Green Appetite Genuine, another Primatech color, and that is this one here. I'm doubting myself now. Yeah, it is. Undersea Green is the one next to it. Ooh, Green Appetite Genuine. Oh, look at that. I love it how colors blend together. Which I'm not supposed to do in the palette book, but never mind. And then next to it is Undersea Green here. Yeah. Oh, isn't that lovely? Okay, we've also got Iridescent Topaz, which is this one here. Again, you can see it doesn't do anything. Adds a bit of sparkle to other things. Like for the fen, shouldn't do this, but you know, You see it distributing there. A little bit of sparkle. Let's do this so they blend a bit. Yellow ochre, that's this tiny little one. So my yellow ochre is one of my most used because I use it for skin tones when I'm doing fashion illustrations and I need to put a bit down. And so it's separated out amongst multiple palettes. Da, 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 da. Then we come back to the iridescent, no, Aztec Gold, which is another iridescent one. See? I'm going to be a little bit naughty and I'm going to drop a tiny little bit into, no, none of them are wet. Well, I could do it into yellow ochre, but that's not quite the same. Raw sienna. So we'll use it direct from the tube. There we go. So I had seen, I'd actually had a chat with somebody in the comments, Jules of, gosh, like Chromophile, I think is her channel name, about Roman Schmall watercolors, and I've never used them before. This is Goethite Brown Ochre, and I literally got this because of Laura Horn's granulating video or 10 best watercolors video. Oh gosh, look, we've got so much on there. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Roman Schmall. And then it's very, very, very uncanny how this happened. But what happened was I then got an email from Jackson's, you know, their general newsletter email being like, woo, sale, Roman Schmall. Oh my goodness me. Okay, we've got excess here. I hate how they stuff so much in that it just bursts out because I feel like I'm wasting it. And I end up with a palette that's just got blobs of random paint on because I don't want to waste it. Quinacridone Deep Gold. That's this one here. Love a bit of Quin Deep Gold. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Isn't that just lovely? Oh my lordy be. And you know what, we could do that just for the giggles, because obviously I wouldn't normally do this. Try my brush off. I want to get a bit of that. Oh, Aztec Gold, that one. And look. Oh, and when that dries, you'll be able to see little blobs of gold in it. Naphthamide Maroon is another one from the Laura Horn video. And they don't do these in little tubes. Can you see the size of that tube? It's like as big as my hand. That's crazy. But I really wanted it because it looked really pretty. So what was I saying? Yeah, so then Roman Schmall came up on sale and I was like, oh, that was clearly meant to be. So I watched, there were 2 colour swatching videos as well as some recommendations that Jules gave me in a comment on my video. And I placed an order. So clearly my June haul video. Look, is that not just absolutely gorgeous? Imagine Quin Deep Gold, Naphthamide Maroon, and then maybe like a nice undersea green. Just that nice simple palette. Oh, wouldn't that be beautiful? So yeah, clearly my June haul is going to feature some Roman Schmall. It's going to feature some, a couple of books, a couple of water containers, and doubtless there'll be other things that will appear because we're very at the start of the month. Raw Umber Violet, again from a Laura Horn video. I'll add the link to the video I'm talking about because I think this is like the second time I've mentioned it, or third. She did like a video on her 10 best Daniel Smith watercolors, and because these ones are really expensive. Like I can get these little 5mm ones for like €5 or €6, but these ones are like £15, which is like, that's well over 20 something dollars. And I know it's going to last me forever, but it's like, I'd rather have like 3 colors per one tube with like 3 smaller ones, so I've got more to play with. Anyhow, transparent red oxide, I absolutely adore, and I can tell you that it is in this funny little palette because I remember when it arrived, I put it in here. Oh, see, you can tell why I like that. It's quite, I mean, it's not similar to Quin Deep Gold or to Aussie Red Gold, but it is that beautiful kind of like, oh, isn't that gorgeous? Naphthamide Maroon and transparent red oxide. Oh my goodness, that would be beautiful as well. And then burnt sienna. Oh no, it's getting a bit dry. This is again one of the first colors I bought. I mean, they are quite similar. Burnt umber. I know I've got burnt umber over here. Hang on. God, my water's filthy. That's this one here. Look at that. Oh, pretty. I do like earthy a bit more. Let's get some like proper on the page. And I forgot what I was saying. Payne's Grey, another one of my favourites. I don't have the tube because it's one from the very beginning of my watercolour, my professional swatching career. That's a joke from a comment on one of my previous videos. I seem to have become a professional swatcher and purchaser of amazing art supplies. Beautiful Lunar Black, we've got that over here as well. That's this one. That's another granulating one. So I believe that I'm not supposed to have black because that's what they say, but I'm like, no, I'll have any colour I want in my palettes, thank you, because isn't that lovely? I love how this one separates out. Put a bit more pigment there though, so it really goes for it. Oh, yum 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 yum. And then Grey Titanium, that one's also in here. That's down here. And I think I already mentioned I got this because of urban sketching. I actually just joined a Facebook group of urban sketchers in the town where I live in the Netherlands, so I'm quite excited about that. I'm not very good at it, but I figure, well, I can meet other people in real life, isn't it? There we go. Look at this Serpentine Genuine. Can you see how it's like separated out? Really pretty. We've got lots of separation or granulation here in the Green Apatite Genuine as well. Over here the Gouache trying. I love these colours. Oh, I just love them so much. So there we have it. So as you can see, I've got a I think there are 40 in total, collection of 40 watercolours from Daniel Smith. I love playing around with them. I need to get braver and not feel so terrified of wasting these really beautiful paints, but they're just gorgeous. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know which colour is your favourite in the comments below, and I'll see you next week for another video. Take care. Bye.